Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews Podcast, here with CollectorCarCanada.ca. Before we get into this week's cars, I do want to remind you that we also run the Collector Car Stories podcast. Those are usually weekly, and each episode features a car enthusiast, a collection of cars, maybe a car event, and we peel back the layers of the onion and find out about it. And we usually have a good time with it, and there are usually some fun stuff. One thing I want to also mention is we're always looking for people who want to guest on the Collector Car Stories podcast. So if you have such a story or a car or an event you want to promote, drop us a line, info@collectorcarcanada.ca. Every page on the website also has a contact us link. You can get to us that way. But we'd be interested in hearing about what you have to say. And who knows, maybe we can make an episode about it. Okay, on to this week's cars. We've got a couple of super duper premium items this week. We're really pleased to have them, and they reflect our growth. We started out in 2021. We sold rims and brakes sometimes. But we hope that we are coming of age, and these... all four items this week are stunners. Don't sleep on the final two I mentioned, but the first two really are premium items. So we'll start with a 14,000 mile 1987 Ferrari Testarossa. It's lot 279 on CollectorCarCanada.ca. Red on the beige Connolly leather. As I say, low miles, 4.9 liter flat 12 with the 5-speed gated manual. Lot 279, please take a look. Next up, we've got a multiple show winner, and it's under 1,000 kilometers since the build was complete. 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air convertible custom. So every part, new, polished, re-chromed, or repaired, or cleaned at the very least. You got to take a look at this car. It's a one of a kind, and it really is a stunner. There aren't enough superlatives to describe it. We're really pleased to have it. It's lot 265. So again, the sub 1K kilometer repeat show winner, 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air convertible custom. Next up, almost as clean. And this one, its odometer reads under 20,000 miles. We can't promote it as original mileage, but we wouldn't be surprised if it is based on the condition. Take a look at the detailed listing for lot 276, and you let us know in the comments of the auction what you think, if it might be original mileage. But it's a 1973 Cadillac sedan DeVille hardtop. So no B-pillar. With all the windows down, you see right through the car. 4-door with the 472 cubic inch V8 with torque for days. I think the torque rating is 365 pound-feet on that one. We get into the details in the video and on the detailed listing. Again, lot 276. And the last one we're going to show you this week is a 52,000 kilometer 1994 Chevrolet Corvette. It's a 6-speed manual with a glass top. It's Ontario safetied, and there's even an inspection report on the listing. So we offer the inspection, the pre-purchase inspection, to all of our sellers. This seller opted for it, and we publish the results. Certainly the results, the written report supplied by the inspector. So you'll see that report on the detailed listing. It's lot 277, as I say, low mileage, white over black leather. And this one as well, when you look around the interior, although it's got 52,000 kilometers on it, they have been well cared for kilometers. It really is in super shape. So here come the cars. Thanks for watching. And we'll start with the Ferrari, then the custom Chev, then the Caddy, and lastly the Corvette. Thanks again for watching. Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.ca. Today we have a special one. 1987 Ferrari Testarossa 5-speed manual. This one is lot 279 on collectorcarcanada.ca. So an 87 Testarossa in Rosso Corsa, which is merely Italian for race red. Over the tan interior, all leather, quite supple. We'll get a good look at the interior in a minute here. This one's an extremely low miler. It's a US model, US market model. So the odometer is in miles and it shows under 14,000 miles. So today we're at 13,766. So again, going to its new owner with under 14,000 miles. It's also going to its new owner certified. And a big item with these Testarossas is the engine out belt service. So in preparation for the sale last fall, the owner of this 87 Testarossa had the belts changed and also had the clutch replaced. So although that was last autumn, I believe the work order is October. We've got it in the detailed listing. Again, lot 279. The odometer is under 100 miles ago, certainly under 200 miles ago. So fresh belts and a fresh clutch for the new owner. Again, going to that person with under 14,000 miles. So let's give it a start up. We'll have a listen to it running, and then we'll move on with the rest of the review video. Here we go. So in case that sounded like there was some hesitation, I think it's got to do with me not being used to driving a Testarossa. Started right up. We're fresh back from doing some driving videos. You'll also see on the detailed listing, lot 279. So the engine was relatively warm for that. We don't claim it to be a cold start, but we've also got a separate cold start video on the listing. So take a look for that if you want to hear it. Start not only from the cold, but also by someone being the owner who knows how to start it. That's said at my own expense. So we'll change camera angles now. I'll go grab the camera and we'll take a look at and listen to the engine and exhaust at idle. Of course, you can hear it under load on the driving videos we took and that are on lot 279, detailed listing, collectorcarcanada.ca. Here's a look at a distance at the 1987 Ferrari Testarossa 5-speed manual with a 4.9 liter flat 12 engine. That's made into a 5-speed manual gated shifter, and that gets power to the rear wheel. So let's get in close. We'll have a better listen to it at idle. A few more words about the engine. As I say, a 4.9 liter mid-rear mounted flat 12. For 380 horsepower out of the factory. We've got the torque rating on the detailed listing. I don't know it by heart, admittedly, but lots of juice and lots of guts. Do take a look at those driving videos for lot 279 and you'll get a little bit of a sense of what it can do. I'm glad the driver, the owner, was taking it easy for me in the passenger seat. But yeah, this car has a lot of capability. And with that low mileage, it's running almost like new. So we'll cut the engine now. So here's a good look at the car in one of my favorite angles, the driver's front corner. You can see that original paint really pops. Nice clean Carfax on this car as well. We've got that on the detailed listing, lot 279 on collectorcarcanada.ca. Consistent with the period for sports cars, but not so consistent with today. There are retractable headlights on this baby, and I think it looks fun with them up, so we'll give them a try here. Even with the car running, I think they're going to pop up just fine. I might have said with the car running, I meant not running. So there they are in the up position. Let's do a quick walk around with the lights on to give you a sense. So those ones in the center, of course, are the brights. I didn't turn those on. And there is a set of fog lights down below. They're not on right now either. But you can get a sense of what the car looks like all lit up. The straking down the side, of course, has straking to match, which I won't say distort, but cover the rear lenses. But there's a good sense of its look with the lights on. We're almost at dusk here. It's the right time to be shooting photography. And pretty soon to drive this car, you'll need those lights on. So there's a good look, and we'll come back with them back down. So again, Rosso Corsa is the name of the paint color. Translated from Italian, it's merely race red. Couple little flaws in the finish. I'll show them to you as we make our way around the car. But really a smart car in wonderful condition. Again, super low miles, under 14,000 miles. It's going to the new owner with. So we'll start with the wheels here. The factory wheels with the removable by that center hub are in place. This car, even for provenance sake, has the original tires on it. So that's a set of Goodyear Eagle VR 50s. And up front here, they're size 225, 50, VR 16. And as I say, the owner passes on the knowledge that these are original tires. I see a slight mark on this wheel right here. I'll put my tuning up close to it, but as you can see, relative to the tuning, it's quite small, and I can barely feel it. It's a little bit textured, but not really. So yeah, for provenance sake, it's great to have the new tires. Maybe the new owner decides to get a new set of tires, and there's that Ferrari emblem on the rim. 8 by 16, so 8-inch wide on the front, which matches the 225 millimeter width of this tire. Again, they're the original, so we know they fit. There's a good look at the right level, the straking. So in addition to being a wonderful look for the car, there's actually a safety item built in, partly built in because they're afraid of objects being caught in that air tunnel which flows to the engine compartment. So nothing big can get in there as a result of these beautiful strakes. So two birds with one stone, as crass as that saying is. Here's a good look at the driver's side mirror and how it's set out a bit from the very side of the car, and that's to observe the width back here above the rear wheel. You need that mirror out a little bit farther than the width of the car to be able to see. So making our way back. In our detailed listing, here's a Sigla emblem on this piece of glass, as well as a Ferrari emblem. You see that embossing on all panes of glass, all 6 of them, and all 6 are photographed in our detailed listing, lot 279. So here we are at the driver's side rear tire. Again, another Goodyear Eagle VR 50. And back here, we're at 255, 50 VR 16. A good look at this wheel or rim, and I don't see any marks. The only imperfection I see there is a bit of the makings of a cobweb there. The car's been stored pretty much, as I say, that it had that belt service last October, very low miles since, and as a result, it's been sitting in the owner's garage. Here's a look at the Pininfarina emblem here on the driver's side rear quarter. Car was designed by Pininfarina, as most Ferrari aficionados would know. I did zoom by a small imperfection here in the finish. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not, but in case it does, I've got my coin just below it. But I do see a bit of a, I guess I'll call it an indent in the metal. And I think that's something that could be taken off or taken out by a PDR, a good PDR person, paintless dent removal. Your mileage may vary. Get an opinion from the pros. Fuel doors up here, and we do have pictures of it opened and the cap open as well on the detailed listing, lot 279. So making our way back, we'll take a look at the 1/4 view from the driver's rear. Sharp car here. As I mentioned, the straking continues over to the taillights, and right here there's venting for the big V12 here, which we already saw with it running. Center brake lights mounted here in this red panel, and we can get a look at the cabin through that rounded rear windshield. So working our way back, there's a good look at the entire width of the car. It really, with the combination of the height and width of the car, makes it really look low and wide. So a great sporty stance and profile. Here's a good look at the twin pipes over here on the driver's side. And as we cut across, you can see the twin pipes over here on the passenger side. Not showing any discoloration or wear. They look, I won't say good as new, but darn good for an 87, being that we're shooting this in 2025. We do have some photos of the underside on the detailed listing, so I skipped over it for this video. And here we are at the passenger side quarter panel. I don't see the same imperfection over here on this side. We'll get a good look at the rim over here on the passenger's rear. I don't see any imperfections on it. I think I skipped the rim width over on the driver's side, so we'll get it over here on the passengers. You can see it's a 10-inch over here on the passengers on this original Ferrari rim. Goodyear Eagle VR50s at 255/50 VR16. And the matching Pininfarina badge over here on the passenger side. And a good look at the straking from the rear, as well as that matching straked passenger side mirror matching the driver's side. Earlier in the Testarossa run, there was only a mirror on the driver's side. So with modernization here with this 87, the passenger side got a mirror as well. Moving along, there's a look at the brand embossing here on the rear side window on the passenger side, and there's that Ferrari emblem as well. Again, all 6 panes show it. And up close on the passenger's front tire, Goodyear Eagle VR50 at 225/50 VR16. 8 inches wide on this 16-inch original Ferrari factory rim, and no markings here on this rim either. There's a minor imperfection over here on the front as well, so we'll get up close at that. The chin of the car has probably touched higher than intended lowered curb, but you can see there are a couple imperfections here right below the front license plate. And it reminds me of another imperfection I missed over here on the driver's side. This would be from wear of someone's leg getting ingress and egress to and from the car. So easily refinished, I think, but do your homework on what you'll do if you want to address that. So another good look at this great angle of the car here from the driver's front quarter. Next up, interior. Okay, so here we are for a look at the cockpit area of this 1987 Ferrari Testarossa 5-speed manual, lot 279 on collectorcarcanada.ca. A couple of quick notes while I'm thinking of them. These brown Ferrari branded floor mats are extras. Those protective mats protect the original factory protective mats over the floor here. So we have some better still photos of those in the detailed listing if you want to take a look at those. You'll note that the rubber for the clutch pedal is off. It's in the center console, so it just needs to be fitted back on. I didn't ask any questions. I found that when we were doing our photo shoot of the interior. Another imperfection I'll show you is on the driver's seat bolster. A little bit of wear on that. Pulling out my handy dandy coin to give you a sense of perspective. And here it is right here. So when I talked to the owner about that, he's certainly particular about keeping a car original. There are Ferrari leather kits one can acquire, though, procure, if you want to recover the seat. But I see the owner's point in wanting to keep it original. Another nice touch here on both seats is the Ferrari emblem embossed into the headrests. A little bit of look on the outside of the seat, so you can see some power seat controls right there. Handbrake on the left side of the driver. And a couple of releases for the front trunk, as well as the engine cover in the rear. There's a speaker here, as well as a tweeter here. You can see a matching set over on the other side. The car's equipped with an aftermarket JVC head unit, whose face comes off. It's actually covered up right now, but when I climb in, I'll give you a good look at that, because it does have a door behind which it lies. So I'll show you the Connolly leather covered door card here. We've got the windows down. It's a very warm evening. And then we've got instrumentation. So we've got a speedometer where the dominant measure is miles per hour. Again, it's a US market car. So it maxes out at 200 miles an hour, which is 320 kilometers an hour in the yellow font numbers. Again, under 14,000 miles on this car. In the center, there's an oil temperature gauge. And then over on the right, we have a tachometer whose maximum reading is 10,000 RPM, but you don't want to get going that high, given that the red line's at 6,750. Down below the oil gauge, there's a coolant temperature gauge as well, and that's in there for in Fahrenheit degrees, reflective of the US market car. And then we've got the oil temperature. I might have said oil temperature for on the dash. That's in fact oil pressure. So we've got oil temperature down here in the console. There's a clock right here. I don't have the car running, so it's not operating right now, but I did see it counting time earlier on our driving videos. And then there's a fuel gauge as well. Some vents. Another thing I'll add, that while we were doing our driving videos, warm night, I always like to have the windows up for those to minimize the wind noise. And we did run the air conditioner, and I'm pleased to report that it blows cold. There's where that JVC faceplate plugs into the stereo. We can just close that door up, being that we're not using it. Good look at the HVAC controls, as well as the windows. And power mirror as well. Right through to the center here. While I'm thinking of it, here's the faceplate for the JVC head unit, right in there. And then there's a good look at the passenger seat and passenger door card, and the floor over on that side as well. Here's a little storage cubby here, also covered in the Connolly leather in tan. I'm not going to open that right now. There's some personal items in there, so I'd rather not show those off, being that they're not mine. But there's a good look at the 3-spoke steering wheel, factory item. Even so, it is branded Momo, so Momo from the factory. And of course, this being a US market car, it's got the retractable shoulder belts of the period. Those are still functional. The owner tells me he prefers to just use the lap belt only, and you can see those there, but they can be connected with the shoulder, as you see there. And then this is a little attaché holding the owner's manual. We've got pictures of all the contents inside of our detailed listing at lot 279. And there's a good look at the parcel shelf with a couple of beautifully finished Connolly leather straps for tying down cargo if you're using that parcel shelf. So I think that should about do it for the interior. The stocks on the steering wheel. Over on the right, we've got the wiper control. Headlights up above, and then down below, over here on the left side, is the indicator lights. as you'd expect, pretty much standard issue. Good look at the interior cabin. We're not going to show you the front trunk in this video. Again, some personal items stored in there, but we do have stills of it on the detailed listing, so take a look there. Lot 279. Maybe one last look around the car before we move to our closing shot. But yeah, a beautiful 1987 Ferrari Testarossa, 5-speed manual, Rosso Corsa over the tan Conley interior. So there's a good look at our 1987 Ferrari Testarossa, 5-speed manual, finished in Rosso Corsa, which translates to race red. Rear mid mounted to the rear wheels only. Again, that 5-speed manual is a gated transmission. And U.S. market car showing under 14,000 miles. It's going to its new owner with under 14,000 miles. Fresh belt service, under 200 miles ago. Done last fall. Car hasn't really been driven since. I was just in preparation for sale. U.S. market car originally, so the dominant measure on the speedometer is miles per hour, but there's also a metric speedometer topping out at 320 kilometers an hour. I think I've told you about all there is to know for this video on this 1987 Ferrari Testarossa 5-speed manual. If you're looking for more, please do look at our detailed listing, lot 279, on collectorcarcanada.ca. That's going to close it for this video. Thank you for watching, and we're going to move on to the next car. Hi everyone, and welcome to a wonderful car here on the Car Reviews podcast with collectorcarcanada.ca. Today we're going to show you a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air Custom. So the trademark Chevy, the 57 Chevy. I'll tell you a little bit about the origins of this car. It was assembled in 1957, March 19th to be precise, and of the 1,136 built in Canada, the Bel Air convertibles, that is. This was number 530 off the line in Oshawa. Originally, it was a 283 cubic inch 2-barrel with a 2-speed automatic. But all of that has changed, and we'll get to some of that as we go through this video. So getting in close and taking a closer look at the interior. It's got a custom interior, as you can see. 95 Lexus SC seats were used, and they're covered in Italian leather. They're also 6-way power heated seats. You might notice the ashtray's been deleted to accommodate modified AC controls. We'll talk a little more about the interior in a minute, but walking around to the engine compartment, you might have noticed the cameraman did not release a hood latch inside the cabin. It's just open right from there. And looking inside, the thing that really knocks me out is the engine cover itself. It's a work of art. Like the fender liners, it is color matched with the paint. And look at that extreme chrome rad. And we'll work our way over to the driver's side now. A little bit more about the interior. And there's a good look at the cockpit with that custom steering wheel. But you can see Daytona weave carpet, a low car shifter, custom door cards with tiger wood inlays, billet pedals, billet stainless steel latching systems. It all latches. So sure and strong. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that since the build was completed, under 1,000 kilometers on the car. So for all intents and purposes, a new car. Working our way back to the trunk here, you can see that custom rear bumper to accommodate the license plate rather than having it in the trunk. But there's a custom floor plan with a spare tire to delete to make the trunk more usable and accommodate a 19-gallon fuel tank. All the electrical is behind that vertical panel in the trunk, so it's between it and the rear seat. Now, of course, the car is equipped with a power top, and we wanted to show that off to you. So while the motorized power top is doing its thing, we'll talk a little bit more about the exterior. I'll also mention that every part is either new, replated, rechromed, or cleaned. The car's got LED headlights, tinted glass. Those custom chrome 5 double spoke wheels are 17 by 8 in the front, 18 by 9.5 on the rear, under 1,000 kilometers on the Nitto Performance staggered set of tires. And that top is a German item. It's made by a company called Hartz, 2 A's in Hartz. You'll see it listed on our detailed listing for lot 265 on collectorcarcanada.ca. We're just passing the fuel door, which is in the molding above the left side driver's side tail light. I mentioned the custom bumper to house the relocated rear license plate, and all of the emblems have been switched over to chrome, so no more gold emblems as this car would have come out of the factory. So let's get a little more now into the interior. You can see these custom door cards. Don't be fooled. There is a manual control for the vent window, but power windows for this car. The other latch you see there is to open the door. Tiger wood inlays in those door cards as well. And you can see there's a speaker integrated in the bottom right of the photo of the driver's door card. These seats, sourced from a 1995 Lexus SC, recovered in Italian leather. They're 6-way, power and heated. And working our way to get a good look at the cockpit from above with that top down. Beautiful custom steering wheel, chrome and leather. A few options to note, or convenience items to note. Intermittent wipers, car's equipped with air conditioning, tilt wheel. It is equipped with cruise control. It's inoperative at the moment. Power windows, power locks, and those gauges are digital by HDS. You'll see a photo on our detailed listing of the odometer where I believe the photo says in the 650 kilometer range. This car is going to its new owner with under 1,000 kilometers. So I mentioned the Italian leather, Daytona weave carpet underfoot, the low car shifter, and those pedals, the billet pedals and the billet latches. And there's a closer look at the instrumentation. Combo gauges in the center, a digital display down at the bottom, but a miles per hour speedometer topping out at 160 miles an hour. And there's also a TAC integrated in there, fuel gauge. And you can see this SFI emblem in chrome. And then there's a good look at the Bel Air emblem that's positioned on the dash between HVAC controls and the analog clock over on the passenger side. You can see that photo's taken just above the glove box. And there's a good look at the analog clock, power window controls and power lock control, center mounted. And that's a good look at our interior. You can also see those GM seat belts with a modern look. GM to match the car, but a little more modern than the 1957 Chev would have had. So getting into the mechanicals, as I said earlier, it's a real stunner of an engine cover or beauty cover. You can see the fender linings are also color coded with the exterior of the car. And that color is called high octane red. It's a 2-stage paint, base and clear with a pearl. And underneath that engine cover is a LS3 engine. So that would have been standard equipment on a C6 Corvette. Underneath, the car has the underpinnings of a C4 Corvette. So modern frame, modern powertrain. There's a 4-speed automatic transmission, a 4L60E 4-speed automatic. That GM Performance LS3 is factory rated at 430 horsepower with 430 feet-pound of torque. And I'll say it again, under 1,000 kilometers on the powertrain since the build. So it's almost like getting a brand new car here with the look of yesteryear. Working our way through some of the photos of the engine compartment, you can see there's a custom chrome radiator keeping things nice and cool. Here's another look at the engine cover from the front. Almost has like a rocket look to it. And there's a good look at the alternator. It's been used a little bit, but boy, it sure does look almost brand new. And there are some of the hoses and the dipstick for the oil and the oil fill level and a belt, everything looking polished and new. And speaking of polished, how about these intricate chrome hinges for the hood itself? So a few more items to mention performance-wise and mechanically. The CHRA Road Hugger chassis fitting along with the C4 suspension. The fuel lines, the brake lines, and battery cables are all hidden, so you're not going to see those. The disc brakes are at all four are sourced from a C4, 12-inch rotor in the front, 11-inch in the rear, and the C4 suspension with rack and pinion steering with power assist. Now the differential, we've got a Dana 36 posi, independent rear suspension with 3.55 gears. I mentioned the 19-gallon fuel tank to give you some range. So that gives you a sense of what's happening mechanically with this beautiful 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air convertible custom. So a few things I want to reinforce about that custom trunk. It's got a custom floor pan, so the spare tire has been deleted to make it more usable. It also accommodates that 19-gallon fuel tank. Now you can see Bel Air inscribed on that vertical panel. That lights up. It's difficult to see in the daylight photos, but that lights up. And behind that panel is where you're going to find most of the electrical about the car. The battery is in behind there, as are audio controls, an amp, and various electrical wiring. So we're just trying to show off the trunk here, and of course some of the World of Wheels awards pop up. But there's a good look at it. It's got the matching pecan on the sides with the matching carpet at the base of the trunk. Chrome hinges as well, and that trunk lid, the underside, looks unused. So that gives you a good look at this incredibly restored car. A 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air convertible custom. Every part new, replated, re-chromed, or cleaned. And the nice thing about the mechanicals is that everything comes from a GM catalog. So everything's plug and play. If ever a part needs to be replaced, no long waits for custom parts. Everything comes from that GM catalog. So this one is lot 265 on collectorcarcanada.ca. We're really excited to have it. A real high value item here on our little website. So take a look again, collectorcarcanada.ca, lot 265, a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air convertible custom. I think that'll about do it for the videos. So we'll thank you for watching, and we're going to move on to the next car. Hi everyone, and welcome to a super interesting car here on the Car Reviews podcast with collectorcarcanada.ca. Today we have a 1973 Cadillac Sedan DeVille hardtop. This one is a beauty and very obviously a Southern car. Hardly marked. The owner believes the just over 19,000 miles showing on the odometer, a 5-digit odometer, is original. The evidence is there to support that, but of course we've got to call this one TMU, true mileage unknown, because we don't have a clear paper trail over the last 52 years. So this one is lot 276 on collectorcarcanada.ca, 1973 Cadillac Sedan DeVille hardtop. You can see no post between the doors. And our seller has had the car since 2022. He bought it out of Kentucky, has fixed it up mechanically. It hasn't needed anything in the way of cosmetics. Take a look at our detailed listing, please, and you'll get a sense of the mechanicals he's updated. The car runs like a dream. Please do take a look at our driving videos on the detailed listing to hear the engine purr. We've also got a startup, idle, and exhaust video so you can hear that exhaust as well. So a 472 cubic inch engine. Of course, that's a V8. It's got a turbo hydromatic, 3-speed automatic, and the engine was good for 220 horsepower out of the factory, 365 pound-feet of torque. So that's a little bit about the engine. I'm going to start it now, and we'll have a listen to both the engine and exhaust. So here's a good look at the glamorous 1973 Cadillac Sedan DeVille hardtop. So let's get in close and have a listen to that 472. So evidence all around this engine bay that it's very well cared for. As I led likely a charmed life. Blue valve covers to denote the Cadillac trademark. So here's the compressor. The compressor is in place, but the AC is not blowing cold, and the owner says he has not tested it since he bought the car in 2022. He's only driven it about 1,000 miles in that time. He's probably spent more time working on it than he has driving it. And I like seeing AC Delco authentic parts under the hood. One thing that comes to mind is he did replace the master cylinder. Disc brakes up front and drums in the rear. So we'll close down the heavy hood. And we'll move to the back and get a listen to the exhaust at idle. Purring like a kitten. I don't think we need the engine running anymore. I'll cut the engine and we'll begin our exterior tour of the 1973 Cadillac Sedan DeVille hardtop. So I did demonstrate it in the opening of the video. We call this one a hardtop because there's no pillar between the doors, so just the A pillar and the C pillar. Getting in close to the front end of the car, you can see that post 70 front end. That's when this front end started, and this one being a 73 in gold with maybe a fawn interior. We'll get the proper Cadillac names for the colors onto the detailed listing. Again, lot 276. So the chrome on the bumper, very good, and even the black trim looks to be in very nice condition. Don't see any cracks, and it's retained its black color. The story that this owner got, our seller, is that the previous owner had it just under a year, and he bought it from a long time owner. We're not sure if it's the original owner or not, but it had been in storage for many years. And the owner, just before our seller, had the car repainted. So it does have its a second, well, I won't say second coat of paint. It's got a new paint job as of 2022 in the original color. Our seller has also updated the tires. So there's a set of Auburn premium radial tires. The tire size is 235/75 R15 with a T speed rating. I won't call them narrow whites, I won't call them wide whites, kind of a medium white wall on the set of Auburns. And a matching set at all four corners. Again, they were installed in 2022. And again, the current owner estimates he's driven the car about 1,000 miles. Certainly we have pictures of the odometer from before he bought it, so that corroborates his 1,000-mile estimate. One fun item on these Cadillacs of the 70s, here's a monitor for the turn signals. So from the driver's seat, if he's not looking right at the dash, the driver can tell if he's got his indicator on. And here's a good look at the Cadillac inscription on the side mirror. Pair of matching side mirrors on this 73 Sedan DeVille hardtop. A look at the wipers, which hide away, but they are finished in bright work to match the prodigious proliferation of chrome throughout the car. Yeah, this one really does present as really clean in the sun. It's kind of gleaming. We do have some photos of it in the sun on the detailed listing. Again, lot 276. So vinyl roof, even the vinyl roof looks pretty darn good. Here's a little cosmetic mark. I think that'll come out no problem, but certainly no cracking or weathering on the white vinyl top. A Sedan DeVille emblem here on the C-pillar. And another fun touch of a 73 Cadillac are these fender skirts, partially covering the rear wheels. And that rub strip all the way down the side is also finished in chrome. So chrome down on the rockers, chrome rub strip as well. Lots of bright work. From the rear, our seller mentioned that he did a bit of wet sanding of the trunk lid, and he figures this car could pop even more if the next owner continues the wet sanding on the rest of the painted finishes. Just like we saw on the front bumper, the rear bumper looks unmarked. The chrome, no pitting, and quite shiny. And that black rub strip looks black throughout without any cracking. When we get inside the trunk, if I do remember to show it to you, these two pieces are separate from the bumper, and there is a bit of pitting on those, but there's a new pair in the trunk and they'll go with the car. Single exhaust, looking pretty good there. Not too much discoloration, a little bit on the edge. And one little flaw I see here on this rubber light surround, there's a bit of cracking right here. Otherwise quite presentable here in the rear. Moving forward, I haven't had to take out my toonie, which I use to show perspective of flaws, just because I'm not seeing many of them on this 1973 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Here's that same emblem on the C-pillar, and a good look at the vinyl top from this edge. And that open coupe look, I called it a coupe, it's a sedan, but the hard top makes it look like a coupe without that post in the center of the two doors. So do note the chrome finishes on the rockers and the rub strip. And we'll get a good look at the Auburn premium radial white wall up here in the passenger's front with the Cadillac wheel cover for the 15-inch wheels. Same covers, matching set all around. And here's a good look at the driving light. So that white light lights up when the indicator is on, just to give the driver a sense of what he's what he's in for when he turns the corner in the dark. To his credit, the seller also mentioned that although the antenna is in the raised position, the motorized function is not working, so it can be raised and lowered manually. The power antenna function is not working. Here's a good look at the passenger side mirror. And we'll finish off with the dramatic look of the front end of the car before we move on to the interior. Moving to the interior of the 1973 Cadillac sedan DeVille hardtop, contrasting, or I suppose complementing the Mirage taupe metallic paint. A fresh repaint in 2022, professionally done. See the invoice on our detailed listing for lot 276. The interior upholstery is in cloth and dark taupe medallion in color. So you can see a patterned finish on both benches, a bench in the front and the rear. And if you look closely down at the side of the driver's side of the bench, you can see power controls for it. There are 6 seat belts all told, so 3 up front, 3 in the rear. And in this photo, we've got the armrest down, but you can see the 2 buckles for the seat belts, one for the driver, one for the center passenger if that spot gets used. One thing I found pretty neat looking at this car is these color matching floor mats in vinyl with the Cadillac crest. So about as close to dark taupe medallion cloth as you can get. I suppose it's closer to the carpet, but a vinyl, soft vinyl, easily rolled or folded with that Cadillac emblem. You can also note the lack of wear on the pedals. I think I've already said this, but we have to list this one as true mileage unknown, not having a clear paper trail year by year, oil change by oil change back to 1973. But there are several indicators that the sub 20,000 mile odometer might be original miles. And these pedals and the lack of wear on them are a couple of items that make me think so. And you can also even see on the hood release, no wear on the white lettering on the label. And here's the passenger side of the bench, matching with the proper Cadillac buttons, 4 across, both on driver's and passenger side. And you also see the rest of the seatbelt for the passenger here. The car is equipped with shoulder belts that can be latched on to the lap belts. When we looked at the shoulder belts on photo day, it appeared as though they'd never been used. Certainly our seller, the current owner, has only used the lap belts up front. So the shoulder belts are tucked away up top, and you'll see those if you take a look at our photos of the headliner. A look at the passenger side door card. Again, very little wear. Base with the matching carpet to the floors, and that door pull with the design on covering the attachments squared off on both sides. Simulated wood grain surround, and then there is an ashtray for the passenger. We don't think it's ever been used, as well as a power window control. And down below the latch to open the door, you can see the lens. That red lens is lit up. All of the courtesy lighting on the interior was working when we saw the car. So another indicator of the great condition of this car. 3-spoke steering wheel, another indicator of what might be original mileage, is there are no cracks on the rim of this steering wheel. That's certainly a very common, I guess I'll say, predicament of the period GM steering wheel. So no cracks on this one. Some simulated wood grain on the face of it. 3 spokes with the Cadillac emblem in the center. That front's 120 mile an hour sweeping speedometer, and over on the left side of the speedometer you can see a fuel gauge. AM FM stereo radio, we believe the factory unit. You can see in the center in chrome there's a switch. Right now it's switched over to FM, and if you push that switch over to AM, the numbers in the dial switch over to AM frequencies to help with tuning the radio. And also take a look at those soft finish vinyl Cadillac mats with the matching carpet, thick pile. One item I wanted to mention that's not currently functional is the power antenna. To use the radio, it's possible to raise and lower the antenna manually, but the power operation is not functioning. And the other thing we wanted to mention and not functioning among the accessories is the air conditioner is not currently blowing cold. The compressor is in place, but to blow cold air, it's going to need a service. And I took a look at the ashtray the day we were by the car, and it looks just as unused as a lot of the rest of the interior. Very light, no ashes, certainly light wear. And that lighter is in place, although in modern times you can remove it. You'll have a 12 volt power outlet. Here's a good look at the seat controls I mentioned earlier. You can see up, down, front, rear, as well as some tilt functions here, all motorized. Good look at the matching rear seat, rear bench. You can see the center seat belt is extended in the center. There's also an armrest for the rear passengers, should there only be one or two, but it's folded up in this picture. Lap belts only for all three passengers, but as clean and presentable as the upholstery is on the front bench, it's probably cleaner and even more presentable in the rear. Really does make it look like it's almost unused in 52 years. Good look at the matching vinyl Cadillac floor mats in the rear and a little more of that thick pile carpet. You can see the seat back of the driver's and passenger's bench. The front bench is finished in that same pattern in dark taupe medallion cloth. And there's another look at a courtesy light. The ones on the C-pillars for both passenger side and driver side are functional. And there's a hint of the parcel shelf, also just as clean as the rest of the interior. And we also took a couple of photos of the headliner you'll find in the detailed listing for lot 276. But I'll note right now that no drooping, headliner is taut and firmly in place. There's a better look at the headliner, and you can also see those shoulder belts I mentioned earlier sneaking into the picture, as well as really presentable visors. No flimsy edges or even dog ears or wear. So that's a good look at the interior of our 1973 Cadillac Sedan DeVille hardtop, lot 276 on collectorcarcanada.ca. Let's move now towards some closing thoughts. So there's a good look at our 1973 Cadillac Sedan DeVille hardtop, showing under 20,000 miles. There's evidence everywhere to say that is original miles, but we've got to market this one as a true mileage unknown car. 472 cubic inch V8, producing 220 horsepower in terms of the factory rating, 365 pounds-feet of torque, turbo hydromatic, 3-speed automatic, getting the power to the rear wheels, which are shot in freshly installed in the past 1,000 miles, Auburn white wall tires on the original 15-inch wheels with original covers. Oh, I don't know what more to say about this one. It really presents well, super de-duper clean, with primarily a Kentucky history, a little bit of past in South Carolina and Georgia as well. Safe to say no winters for this car. Again, a 1973 Sedan DeVille hardtop by Cadillac in gold over a fawn patterned cloth interior. It's lot 276 on collectorcarcanada.ca. Thank you for watching, and we're going to move on to the next car. Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews Podcast with collectorcarcanada.ca. Just a note, before we get into this 1994 Corvette, take a look at our Collector Car Stories podcast. Every week we drop one of those, and we have a little fun with them. They're basically a story about cars or a car collection or maybe a car event. We always have an enthusiast on as a guest, and if you think you might be a good enthusiast as a guest on the Collector Car Stories podcast, please drop us a line, info@collectorcarcanada.ca, and maybe you can be a guest on a future episode. But for now, please take a look at the episodes on the CCC podcast page on the website. So on to this car. Today we have a 1994 Chevrolet Corvette, 6-speed manual. So this Corvette is equipped with the LT1 engine, released for the 92 model year. So this one's a 94, and that LT1 was good for a factory rating of 300 horsepower from the 5.7 liter V8. Another distinction for this car, though, is the 6-speed manual transmission. So people looking for 3 pedals, this might be your car. White finish over a black leather interior. And a big thing to keep in mind, the manual is one thing, but the low mileage, low kilometers on this car are another. Under 53,000 kilometers on this car. It is a U.S. market car. On the detailed listing, rather, you're going to see a decal for a Texas inspection. We'll probably get that into the video as well when we do a walk around of the car. But this car was originally delivered in the United States. Take a look at the Carfax on it for when it was imported around, I think it was 2013. Our sellers had the car over 10 years. And as you might guess, with under 53,000 kilometers, he hasn't been driving it much and has decided that it's time to move it along. Daily driver being an SUV like a lot of the rest of the world. But he's been really careful with this car. Again, it's a 1994 Chevrolet Corvette 6-speed manual. What I'll do now is we're going to start the engine and move along to the rest of the tour of the car. So a nice sure start. Actually, right now the odometer is displaying in miles, and we do have pictures of it displaying both miles and kilometers on the detailed listing. So take a look at that, and between that and the Carfax, I think you'll be able to satisfy yourself that this is a genuine article under 53,000 kilometers. But right now, as I say, the mileage, the miles odometer is lit up, 32,250, I think I see. But while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to switch it back over to metric. We actually had it on miles, so I could take a picture of it in miles. Actually, I misspoke. It's actually under 52,000 kilometers, but it's up at 51,900. Might be over 52 when it makes it to its new owner. So that's a good intro. Let's switch camera angles, and we'll start the next one with listening to the engine. Okay, so you can see that we've already popped the hood. I'm going to show you the hood opening process because it's kind of neat on these C4 Corvettes. Clamshell hood, as with the Corvettes of the period. As I say, it's already been released from the cabin. We'll pull up here. You can see that rod moving in place to catch it so that it doesn't fall. So there's a good look at the 5.7 liter LT1 V8. I'll move in closer so that you can have a listen to those belts moving and the engine at idle. So a healthy sounding 5.7 liter V8 LT1 engine. We'll make our way to the rear and have a listen to the dual exhaust. While I'm thinking of it, here's that Texas inspection sticker like I was mentioning in the intro. Actually, while we have it, a couple of fun things under the hood. Here's where the battery lives. And I also noticed the coolant reservoirs in an interesting place. There it is right down there. And you can see these headlights. I'm trying to remember to give you a demo in this video. We do have them demonstrated on the detailed listing. But they are pop-up headlights, retractable headlights, very popular in the day. But the movement on these ones is a little different from most. So moving back to listen to the idle. let that engine run for a moment more. Even though I know the headlights go up when the car isn't running. I'm gonna leave it running just enough to temp the battery. So yeah, the release on that rod, and down comes the hood. I'll drop it from about this height, and it's closed. So I'm gonna turn on these headlights and take a good look for the action of them. So more like a 270 sweeping motion rather than a 90 degree. Looking pretty sleek in the up position. Fog lights are illuminated as well. And we'll pop them back down. And I think that's all we need the engine for. We'll close that. We'll shut her down as well. There's a button in the ignition cylinder to get the keys right out. So done that. Don't need to worry about it in the on position while I'm not having the engine run. So there's a good look at a 3/4 view of this 94 Corvette from the driver's corner. So two flaws, the only two flaws I can find on this car. Nice clean car. As you saw, the engine compartment's nice and clean. No stray fluids or anything like that. Even looking under those rockers, nice and clean on this 94 Corvette. But let's get the two flaws out of the way. One is that the AC is not blowing cold. The owner tells me that it was blowing cold last year, but he's not had it tested this year. And the other item is some of the clear coat on those original saw blade 17-inch wheels is starting to peel off. So we'll get a close look at that on each of the four corners. Tires are quite good. Falcon Azenis. So we'll take a look here at this driver's side front wheel. And you can see some of the distress on that rim right there. So as they say, Falcon Azenis tires on this car. Up front, they're a staggered set. Up front, we've got 245, 45, ZR17, and they are a Y rating tire. There's the Y rating right there after the load rating of 99. And another important item on this car is the owner's going to safety the car. For Ontario buyers, the car comes with an Ontario Safety Standard certificate. And that comes to mind just showing the tire age, date code 2012 on that one. And the tread's quite good. So as I say, this car is going to its next owner with an Ontario Safety Standard certificate, should that owner be in Ontario. And we got some vent work here just aft of the front wheel. Nice clean white paint. While I'm thinking of it, I'll show you the front end here. I don't see any stone chips. Of course, a fiberglass body on a Corvette, but this one is free of stone chipping. Nice clean front end. The car is equipped with fog lights. I think I mentioned that. We saw them on display when we had the headlights up. Dual color-coded mirrors on the 94 Corvette. And here's a good look at the driver's side rear wheel. Again, a little bit of the same distress on the rim itself, nicknamed saw blades. 17-inch. And let's get in close and get that size on the rear. As I say, a staggered set. So Falcon Azenis FK453. And here we go for the size. 275 40 ZR17, again with the Y rating, 99 load rating here on the rear. There's a good look at the rear tread. Front one might even be better, as we'd expect a rear drive car to have more wear on the rear tires, but even the rears have plenty of tread. Oh, we got some company. What'd you?
Closet Beauty.
Oh, that's gonna make the podcast. Thanks for mentioning that. Drive safe, ride safely. Always fun meeting up with the local youth. We're shooting this in Mississauga, which is where the car is being sold from. The owner is a resident of Mississauga. So we're working our way around. The skies are starting to look a little threatening here. I might speed this up a bit. You see the rounded square of the later C4 on those tail lights. Fuel doors back here. We had that open. Take a look at the detailed listings for photos of that. And the main thing I want to show you on the exterior is these wheels. This one probably a little better than the other ones. 17-inch OEM saw blade wheel. And then moving forward to, there's the vent work here on the passenger side, and the front passenger rim here with the 245 tire on it. So there's a good look at the car. We do have several driving videos, so you can hear the engine under load in the driving videos. So we'll move on to the interior of the car now. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is we're working here with CollectorCarCanada.ca lot 277 on the 1994 Chevrolet Corvette. 6-speed manual with the glass top. We've got the glass top in the rear of the car right now, so it's removed. But it pops right back into place with a special tool that's included with the car. There's a photo of the tool in our detailed listing. I'm going to show you that odometer. Being digital, we need to flip the key to the on position. And there you can read it. Certainly under 53,000 kilometers. Today, under 52,000. I can switch it over to miles for your peace of mind. There we see 32,250 when measured in miles. Full tank of gas. Get it while you can. Back over to kilometers. So as I say, the AC not blowing cold right now. Black leather interior. There are the 3 pedals, as you'd expect from a manual transmission car. There's a good look at the 6-speed manual. A little bit of onboard computer controls here. These are a bank of warning lights, climate control here, and the AM/FM cassette and CD player right here for of the shifter. The door's got some goodies on it, as you'd expect for a period Corvette. Power windows, power locks, power mirrors, and all of the accessory lights, the interior courtesy lights, are working in this car. You can see various ones here. And there's a little storage cubby here. All those option codes in there. Power seats as well on this 94 Corvette. A little bit of storage, tiny cup holders there with a 12-volt outlet. And as I say, the glass top is stowed here in the rear. And that pops into place right here. But the car's set up for open air motoring as it sits right now. There's also a trunk release, so maybe we'll hit that. We'll have a little look in the hatch. Mostly covered by the glass roof, as I say, but it snaps right into place very smartly. And there's a little bit of storage room underneath it if you get your items in before the glass top. So there's a beauty glam shot of the rear of the car with that glass hatch open. We do have several photos of the underside on the detailed listing for lot 277. Have a look there. One other flaw I didn't mention, the owner does have a remote entry fob, but I'll try to remember to get a photo of it. I haven't yet, but the loop is snapped on it, so it doesn't fit with the keys. So the owner brought it separately. So we'll get a quick look at the passenger side interior. But nice clean car, well presented. Don't even see really much wear. I won't say no wear, but we don't see much wear on that outer driver's bolster. That's the first place you normally see it, but certainly not even a hint of a tear or a rip. There's the tool for the roof, as I was mentioning, and there's a wheel lock key. But let's move over now. As I do a 180 of the front end of the car, take another good look at that front end. Bereft of stone chips, which is really nice. And we'll move now to some closing thoughts. So there we go, a good look at lot 277 on CollectorCarCanada.ca, a 1994 Chevrolet Corvette 6-speed manual with the removable glass top, one piece, so different from T-top certainly. 5.7 liter LT1 V8 engine, made it to the 6-speed manual, getting the power to the rear wheels only. The only flaws I know of on this car are there's a little delamination on the 17-inch saw blade rims. The AC not currently blowing cold, but it was blowing cold in the summer of 24. And the last one is the remote fob, the keyless entry fob is separated from the key ring, a little bit of plastic cracked on it. So yeah, good for 300 horsepower. Check the torque rating on our detailed listing. It slips my mind right now. But again, lot 277 on collectorcarcanada.ca. I think we're done with this one. So thank you for watching, and we're going to move on to the next car.